In the vast cosmos, there's an ancient secret that few dare to uncover, the deep connection between the microcosm and the macrocosm. We are small mirrors, reflecting the universe's vastness in our daily lives, while the universe reflects our essence in its infinite grandeur. This interrelationship, shrouded in layers of mystery, reveals that every movement, every thought, shapes the reality around us. Within the microcosm, the subtle vibrations of our minds and hearts echo across dimensions far beyond the visible. The body, mind, and soul intertwine in a continuous dance with the cosmos, a dance that defines reality. What resides in us is nothing less than a reflection of what governs stars, galaxies, and even time itself. As we walk this path of discovery, we begin to realize that the principle guiding this connection isn't just some distant theory. It's felt in every breath, in every heartbeat, an invisible current weaving our being into the fabric of the universe. But what does it really mean to live in harmony with this principle? That's what we'll begin to explore. The microcosm. Within us lies a miniature universe, an intricate web of thoughts, emotions, and energies that shape who we are. The microcosm, made up of our mind, body, and soul, mirrors the macrocosm, where the universe's larger forces manifest on a smaller scale. Every cell, every thought, reflects the vastness of everything around us, as if our being is a portal to something far greater. The neurons in our mind function like stars in an internal galaxy, sending signals throughout our bodies, fueling the dance of electrical impulses and the flow of blood. Our emotions, on the other hand, are like the wind, unseen but powerful, shaping our perception of reality. Finally, the soul is the thread that holds it all together, connecting the micro and macrocosm in a symbiosis that transcends immediate understanding. It's within this small universe, inside of us, that we can find the keys to unlock the secrets of the macrocosm. But how do these keys reveal themselves? The answer may lie deep within our own consciousness, waiting to be discovered. The macrocosm. The macrocosm, this unfathomable vastness that surrounds us, is more than just the physical space we see with our eyes. It is the energy that flows through all things, connecting every particle, every living being, in a grand web of consciousness. What we perceive is only the surface of a much deeper universe, where the visible and invisible are woven together in an eternal dance. Just as the microcosm reflects the universe on a smaller scale, the macrocosm envelopes us with its immensity, whispering ancient secrets through the stars and the forces of nature. In this connection, we find the interconnectivity of all beings, revealing that, even at a distance, we are intrinsically linked to everything that exists. The energy of the macrocosm is what sustains life itself. And so, our journey stretches beyond the limits of physical perception, toward a deeper understanding of the forces that bind us to everything. What does it mean, then, to be part of this vast universe? Perhaps the answer lies in our ability to open our minds to the flow of this energy, allowing it to reveal its truth. The ancient principle. Since time immemorial, wise men have passed down a principle that permeates everything, as above, so below. This ancient and profound maxim reveals a hidden truth about the relationship between the individual and the universe. What manifests in the macrocosm is a direct reflection of what happens in the microcosm. Our thoughts and emotions hold a creative power that extends far beyond ourselves, shaping the very fabric of reality. The human mind can be likened to a fertile garden, where each thought is a seed that, when cultivated, grows and spreads. If we plant seeds of fear and doubt, the universe will respond in kind. But if we nurture thoughts of harmony and love, we'll see this reflected in both the stars and on Earth. This relationship between the internal and external, between the invisible and the tangible, lies at the heart of cosmic creation. The principle of as above, so below, invites us to consider the impact of our thoughts and intentions. We are the gardeners of our own reality, and by understanding this truth, we begin to shape not only our destiny but also the universe around us. But how can we master this art? Perhaps the key is realizing that creation begins within us, resonating throughout infinity. The law of correspondence. The law of correspondence teaches us that what is true in the macrocosm is also true in the microcosm. This harmony between the physical, mental, and spiritual planes reveals an interconnectedness that transcends ordinary perception. Just as galaxies follow precise patterns, our minds reflect these same patterns in our thoughts and emotions. Unity is expressed in both the vast and the minute, like two sides of the same coin. The correspondence between the macro and microcosm serves as a reminder that our external reality mirrors our internal reality. When we find balance within ourselves, the world around us responds with the same harmony. What we think, feel, and believe has the power to shape our experiences, and by understanding this law, we gain the ability to consciously and powerfully co-create our reality. This principle prompts us to reflect on the deep unity that permeates all things. The separation between the physical and the spiritual is an illusion, and once we realize this, we begin to see that every action, every thought, reverberates through all levels of existence. But how can we use this correspondence to transform our lives? Perhaps the answer lies in the awareness that as we transform internally, the entire universe responds in sync. The macrocosm, ancient roots. The origin of the Hermetic law of correspondence dates back to ancient times, when universal truths were passed down only to those who dared to delve into the mysteries of hidden knowledge. These teachings, deeply rooted in ancient traditions, revealed that small human actions resonate throughout the vast universe. Every movement, every decision, is like a ripple in a still lake, spreading out in all directions, touching every corner of the macrocosm. At the roots of this law, we find the idea that our lives are not merely influenced by external forces but that we ourselves influence the whole. Everyday actions, often overlooked, have the power to profoundly impact the world around us. Just as the flutter of a butterfly's wings can cause a storm on another continent, our choices echo through the realms of the universe, binding the micro and macrocosm in an unbreakable connection. By exploring these ancient roots, we begin to realize that the impact of our actions is not confined to the present. Our choices shape the future in ways we cannot foresee. But how can we live more consciously, knowing that even the smallest action can create change throughout the cosmos? The answer may lie in understanding that the universe is always responding, even to our most minor deeds. The microcosm, collective unity. Within the microcosm, each individual component plays a crucial role in creating collective unity. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions not only shape our personal reality but also contribute to the balance of the whole. Every human being is like a note in a cosmic symphony, where each sound weaves together with others, creating a harmony that echoes across the universe. This harmonic dance reveals that what affects the individual inevitably affects the whole. The microcosm of our lives does not exist in isolation, it is intertwined with the macrocosm, and the vibrations we emit return to us in unexpected ways. Collective unity is like an invisible web, where each strand represents a choice, a thought, an emotion, all interwoven in a cycle of cause and effect. When we act with awareness and intention, we contribute to the well-being of this vast network, and in turn, it sustains us. Recognizing this unity is the first step toward a more conscious existence, aligned with the cosmic flow. But how can we strengthen this connection and become agents of positive change within this vast system? Perhaps the answer lies in our ability to recognize the power we hold in our smallest actions, knowing that, however insignificant they may seem, they reverberate throughout all of creation. Fractal nature. Fractals, with their repetitive and infinitely detailed patterns, are a visual expression of the correspondence between the microcosm and the macrocosm. In nature, they appear in forms like spiral shells, tree branches, and even in Fibonacci numerical sequences. Each part, no matter how small, contains the pattern of the whole, revealing the hidden order within the apparent complexity of the universe. Fractals show us that, within every small piece of creation, lies the essence of the infinite. The beauty of fractals lies in their ability to repeat patterns on different scales, demonstrating that what exists in the macrocosm is also reflected in the microcosm. Trees, with their branches extending in ever smaller directions, and the waves of the ocean, with their endless repetitions, remind us of the interconnectedness between the vast and the tiny. Each fractal is a subtle reminder that the universe follows a hidden harmony, even in its apparent disorder. This repetitive nature invites us to reflect on how the patterns we observe in nature also manifest in our own lives. Just as the leaves of a tree follow a determined pattern, our thoughts and behaviors tend to follow unconscious repetitions. But what can we learn from observing these patterns? Perhaps it holds the key to breaking cycles and creating new realities, consciously connecting the micro and macrocosm. Reflections on nature. Nature offers us countless examples of interconnectedness and unity within diversity. Rivers winding through the earth mirror the flow of blood in our bodies, connecting every cell, just as water connects continents. The branching of blood vessels is a reflection of tree roots, stretching out in search of nourishment, sustaining life above the ground. These repetitive patterns, so present in our world, invite us to see the harmony that permeates all things. Carefully observing these patterns helps us understand that the diversity in nature is actually a manifestation of unity. What appears to be chaotic and without purpose, when viewed closely, reveals a deep order where every detail plays a crucial role in the balance of the whole. The interconnectedness between the micro and macrocosm becomes clear when we realize that what happens in one system directly affects the other, whether in a river or in our own lives. This reflection leads us to question, how can we align our actions with nature's patterns, so that we live in greater harmony with the universal flow? Perhaps the answer lies in observing more closely the rhythm of life around us and finding ways to integrate this ancient wisdom into our daily choices. The cycle of life. The cycle of life is a continuous dance of transformations, where beginnings and endings intertwine in an eternal spiral. Every birth carries within it the seed of an end, and every end gives rise to a new beginning. This cyclical movement is reflected in all aspects of nature, from the blossoming of a flower to the fall of its petals, marking the passage of time and the constant renewal of existence. Life, at its core, is an infinite cycle of creation and destruction. The duality of beginnings and endings should not be feared, but rather understood as part of the natural flow of existence. Just as night inevitably gives way to day, our lives are marked by moments of darkness and light. Each transition, no matter how challenging, invites us to embrace change and grow from it, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. The cycle of life is a reminder that nothing is permanent, but everything is in constant evolution. As we reflect on the cycle of life, we are invited to recognize the beauty in transformation, even when it brings challenges. Each stage prepares us for the next, and thus, we continue moving forward, reinventing ourselves and discovering new ways of being. But how can we harmonize with this cycle and find peace amid constant change? Perhaps the answer lies in accepting that life is a journey of continuous renewal, where every ending is merely the prelude to a new beginning. The interconnection of being. Within us lies a universe of possibilities, where our thoughts and beliefs shape the reality we perceive. What we think and feel internally manifests externally, creating a web of interconnection that influences not only our lives but also the world around us. Every belief acts as a thread in this web, defining the experiences we attract and the realities we build, reflecting the deep interconnection between our inner being and the universe. This interconnection extends beyond our own thoughts. It encompasses the energies we emit and how those energies impact the people and events around us. Just as a stone thrown into a lake creates ripples that spread outward, our thoughts and actions reverberate through time and space, shaping realities not just for ourselves but for those around us. This continuous cycle of cause and effect reminds us that we are all connected by this invisible web. What happens when we start becoming aware of this interconnection? How does it affect the way we see the world and how we relate to it? Perhaps the answer lies in our ability to recognize that every thought and action carries the power to transform, both internally and externally. And as we become more conscious of this dynamic, we can begin to shape our realities in deeper and more meaningful ways. Personal empowerment. True transformation begins when we abandon the victim mentality and become the architects of our own lives. This shift in perspective, though challenging, offers us the opportunity to reclaim control over our destiny. Instead of feeling powerless in the face of external circumstances, we are invited to look within and realize that the power to shape our reality lies in our own hands. The universe responds to the energy we emit, and by changing our internal focus, we begin to see significant changes in the external world. This process of personal empowerment leads us to question our deepest beliefs. Often, we are prisoners of limiting thoughts that make us believe we are powerless against life's challenges. However, when we break free from these internal chains, we begin to realize that the external world is merely a reflection of our inner reality. By looking more clearly at our inner world, we find the strength and power that has always been there, ready to be awakened. The path to empowerment is ultimately a journey inward. By connecting with our essence, we find the ability to create lasting changes in our lives and the universe around us. But how do we begin this path of transformation? Perhaps the answer lies in our willingness to embrace the power we already possess, to recognize that the universe is always supporting us, and to take the first steps with renewed confidence. Change and growth. Growth is a continuous and often quiet process. It happens deep within us, often without us realizing it, until something inside us awakens and reveals just how much we've changed. Our beliefs and internal agreements are like seeds planted in our subconscious, growing and blossoming according to the intentions we nurture. Once we understand the power of these seeds, we begin to realize that we can consciously choose what we want to cultivate in our lives. True change occurs when we are willing to reevaluate our most deeply held beliefs. Sometimes, these beliefs act as invisible barriers, preventing us from reaching our fullest potential. However, when we recognize them and choose to plant new intentions, we create space for genuine growth. Each thought and intention is a new seed, and by planting them carefully, we begin to see the fruits of transformation in our lives. Growth, like the cycles of nature, requires patience and perseverance. It doesn't happen overnight, but through small daily changes that, over time, create a profound impact. How can we nurture this process of change? Perhaps the key lies in our willingness to plant new ideas, cultivate higher intentions, and allow ourselves to blossom at our own pace. If this content has helped you in any way, please subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share this video with someone who might benefit from these reflections. Together, we can continue expanding our understanding and building a more conscious and connected life. After all, the journey is only just beginning.